Hello, good day, and welcome to this session on logistics management and supply chain management. By the end of this session, you should be able to define logistics management and supply chain management, as well as determine the boundaries and relationships regarding logistics management and supply chain management, and finally explain how logistics work within the supply chain. First of all, what is logistics management? We have established that logistics is what entails the movement of materials and information within a supply chain. So, logistics management entails the planning, implementing, and controlling the efficient, effective forward and reverse flow of goods, services, and related information between points of origin and points of consumption in order to meet customers' requirements. So, in essence, logistics management is the management aspect of moving materials and information within a supply chain. In summary, in undertaking logistics management, there are certain things that go into the process of logistics management, and some of them include inbound and outbound transportation management, because obviously logistics is concerned. One of the aspects of logistics is the movement of materials. So, how materials are moved inside or into an organization and how they are moved outside the organization, the transportation of those goods. It falls under logistics management. And then fleet management, the cars as well as the goods that are moved, they have to be in proper shape. You have to calculate the appropriate transport mileage that are going to ensure that goods meet customer needs at the right time. And then there is also warehousing, which is the aspect of logistics that ensures that the goods are protected in a safe space as well as being handled and kept in the right conditions. There is also materials handling. So the materials management aspect of logistics, where goods are moved within an organization or the internal logistics function, is where materials have to be handled properly till they are converted into finished goods and made available to the end user eventually. Then there is also order fulfillment. In order to be able to know what to produce by the manufacturer, there has to be information flow from the customer so as to be able to fulfill orders from customers. The activities related to managing these orders is what we term as order fulfillment. And then logistics network design, the movement of goods or raw materials from suppliers to focal firms to end users. There is a sort of network that exists for this movement to be effective. So there is a need for the linkage between one person or one entity and the other. They have to be managed properly so that there is no breakage in the system. Then there is also inventory management. When raw materials move from suppliers to manufacturers, they are not all used or consumed at a go. So they have to be properly managed so that end products come out with the quality that they are supposed to be in. And there is supply demand planning, movement of information between customers, manufacturers, and focal firm has to be properly managed so as to avoid negative impacts such as the bullwhip effect, which causes distortion or which arises because of information distortion in the supply chain. And then finally, there is management of third-party logistics system providers, because the fleet that moves the goods within the supply chain, that is whether from suppliers to manufacturers or from manufacturers to customers and eventually to consumers, they may or may not be owned by the various entities, whether suppliers, manufacturers, or the customers. Hence, the entities might use the services of third-party logistics companies. It is essential that these parties are also satisfied because any action or inaction of theirs is likely to affect the goal of the supply chain, which is creation of value for customers. Then we move on to supply chain management. Supply chain management basically is about the planning and management of all activities involved in sourcing and procuring, conversion, as well as logistics management activities. It describes the management aspect of a supply chain where actors in the supply chain, their actions are coordinated, and for coordination to be possible there have to be willingness to collaborate among supply chain partners. So it could be suppliers, intermediaries, third-party service providers, as well as customers. These are mostly the basic actors in a typical supply chain. So there has to be willingness to coordinate as well as collaborate among these people so as to be able to achieve effective supply chain management. Also, in undertaking supply chain management, it is bound by certain boundaries as well as characteristics. So it links businesses together so that they can perform their basic business objective, or they can achieve the goal of supply chain management, which is basically to create value to end users. So it includes all of the logistics management activities because in essence, logistics forms part of a broader supply chain and also adds on manufacturing operations, and it drives coordination of processes as well as activities with and across marketing, sales, product design, finance, and information technology. So how does logistics work within a supply chain? So material in a typical supply chain where there is suppliers, focal firm, and then end users or customers, materials move from suppliers downwards. So materials move from suppliers to manufacturers, and then manufacturers convert these materials into finished goods for it to be available to customers. And then information also moves with the material flows as well as upward in the supply chain, where information moves from customers to manufacturers or the focal firm and upwards to suppliers. So logistics is what ensures that the linkage or the movement of materials and information is facilitated to achieve effectiveness and efficiency. So logistics basically supports competitiveness of the supply chain as a whole by meeting end customer demand through supplying what is needed when it is needed at low cost. In undertaking supply chain management activities, there are certain outcomes, expected outcomes, or performance objectives that the supply chain seeks to achieve. Some of these include hard objectives, which can be categorized into three, that is quality, cost, and speed. They are termed hard objectives because they are easy to measure and they are obvious to the end user. So in order to be able to achieve quality, in order to be able to achieve reduced cost, and in order to be able to make goods readily available or quickly to customers, you have to have certain capabilities that will ensure or facilitate the three hard objectives. One of them is the dependability advantage, which ensures that there is controlled variability in terms of administering goods and services. Then there is the rapid response advantage, which mostly is skewed towards the speed hard objective because it ensures that there is the ability to deal with uncertainty and make goods available quickly to consumers. And then finally, there is the sustainability advantage, where in undertaking or achieving quality, cost, and speed, you ensure that logistics and supply chain activities are protecting or meeting the triple bottom line objective, that is achieving social outcomes, economic outcomes, and environmental outcomes positively. Now we move on to soft objectives, which are secure and service oriented, and they include security and confidence. So they are also termed soft because they are less measurable. They cannot be measured, and unlike the hard objectives. So those performance objectives can be and are often augmented by other objectives which are outside logistics. So product superiority. This can be achieved when there is marketing, effective marketing function, as well as innovation and branding. These are all activities that are outside logistics which support the meeting of both hard and soft objectives, especially soft objectives. How does logistics support supply chain performance objectives? So logistics can help solve the problem of uncertainty by adopting flexibility of its processes, either through proactive means or reactive means. Logistics also helps the supply chain to have sustainability advantage by addressing the triple bottom line, as I've earlier said, that is the social, environmental, and economic values. So, importance of logistics varies over time. Therefore, there has to be strategies to bind logistics so as to effectively and efficiently undertake the goals of logistics, and then eventually contribute to the goal of supply chain management so as to ensure that customer value is created and in the end consumers or customers are satisfied. In this session, you have learned about supply logistics management, supply chain management, the boundaries of logistics management, as well as the boundaries of supply chain management. Thank you.